Welcome. Cooking with Keitha has finally made it to YouTube. Down here in Keitha's kitchen, we have good food made from easy recipes. Today's meal of choice is chicken and spinach pasta. Total prep time for this meal was 11 minutes. Total cook time was 17 minutes. The servings from 7 to 8 because they last about a full week of meal prep for the work week. There are some substitutions can be made. Substitute accordingly. And also, just a heads up, some of the items were cooked ahead of time before recording this video, and that was just to save on time. So we're going to jump right into it. You have your ingredients here. Substitute can be made if you don't like grapeseed oil. There is coconut or olive oil, whichever you may choose, instead of jalapeno pepper, because you may have kids that's eating this meal, which it wasn't spicy. You can use green pepper. It's just for the crunch and the color. Let's do it. So here we are. I'm showing you the ingredients. So pasta sauce, and you're only going to use 3/4 jar of that. All of your green stuff chopped up and ready. And then this is your dry seasonings, which is your onion powder, your black pepper, and your chicken bouillon. There's the cooked pasta. Whole bag of spinach, but I only use 2 handfuls for this meal. So you'll have some for your breakfast omelet. So I'm going to take this grapeseed oil. And I'm going to put the chicken into the pan. So I used a 1/3 cup of grapeseed oil, and it's just to coat the bottom of the pan so the chicken does not stick. So I'll just put it inside of the pan, no particular way, but just so that the bottom won't stick. And next we're going to add our chicken. And I use chicken breast tenderloins and chop them up. That was another thing I did during the prep time. It just makes it easier. But sometimes people make pasta, mix all the sauce and the vegetables together, and then lay the chicken on top. You can do it that way too. I would love to see how you guys make this meal your own. So don't forget to tag me in Cooking with Keitha. I'll be sure to repost it if you make it. So the stove is already on like a medium heat. So the oil is in there, the chicken, and now we're going to add the dry seasoning. So your onion powder, your black pepper, and your chicken bouillon. Refer to the ingredients list for how much exactly. And then we're going to add your chopped vegetables. Once again, if you don't want jalapeno peppers, although it wasn't that hot, you can use green peppers. And I only put in half right now because I'll save half for later. And you just mix it. Make sure all the seasoning is covering the meat. And also the meat is just not sitting there sticking to the pan. Even though we put oil in, you just kind of want to swirl it around. I did adjust the heat temperature just to the right a little bit. So if I was in the middle, I would say go to about 6 or 7. And I accidentally turned on another aisle and decided that I was going to cook on the back aisle. But that's neither here or there. You guys can see. I am new to YouTube. Don't forget to follow me. It's at Cooking with Keitha, as well as on that's Instagram. On Facebook, it's Cooking with Keitha as well, but it's just spaces in between. But I make meals like this all the time. I look forward to posting meals weekly. And of course, if you have any suggestions or ideas or anything about how I should do this, please drop down in the comments and let me know. But I'm really excited about starting to make videos for the meals that I post. And right here, I'm just letting the chicken simmer in the seasonings. I clean up all the time throughout my cooking, just normal. But yeah, just letting it simmer in the seasonings. I'm probably going to flip it a lot more times just so that it can be evenly cooked. And you can use this meal with, you can use any type of protein with this meal. So this can be made vegan, vegetarian, however, just kind of. I have my wok pan here, and this is what I'm just gonna mix the meal together itself in. So I got the temperature on even. I always check the heat. We're gonna put a little bit oil in there. You can see me swirling my finger around. And that's where the noodles are gonna go as well. Flipping that chicken again around in those vegetables and seasoning. It was starting to smell so good in there. Typically, I make dishes with seafood, but today I chose chicken just because it was simple, and I have been having shrimp a lot of days in a row, and I was trying to figure out what type of protein would do well with marinara sauce. But you can add whichever type of protein you like, as I once stated. And you want to just continue to make sure that it's cooked. The chicken is cooked all the way through, so that's why I keep flipping through it. I have my other pan there waiting, letting it heat up, because once this is done and ready, I'm just gonna toss everything in the wok pan and we're gonna mix it together. There's our pasta noodles. And we're gonna add them to the wok pan. Next, we're gonna add our marinara sauce. When I first did it, I did only a half a jar. And I kind of eyeballed it. I didn't put it in a cup because I knew I was only going to use like a half or 3/4. So I'm showing you here, just use half at first. And if you feel like it's too dry or doesn't have enough of the marinara sauce over all your noodles by the time you add everything, feel free to add more. You may even use a whole jar because you may like your pasta extra wet. Now I'm mixing the noodles in the marinara sauce and letting it kind of get a nice little coating on there. So that the sauce can simmer with the noodles. I didn't add anything just yet season wise to my pasta sauce, just because the seasoning and everything was on the chicken. Go back to flipping that chicken. Don't let it stick to the pan. Nice and sizzling. Yummy. And for those of you who are interested in me making particular meals, just drop down in the comments and let me know what meals you would like to see. As long as I can read, I should be able to make it. I do like to make things though that I can't eat for the week, so they won't go to waste. Or else I may have to ship it to you for a small fee for meal prep for yourself. And I'm just continuing to let the marinara sauce and the noodles mix in together. Seems that the chicken is ready, so I'm gonna remove it from the aisle, just so it doesn't like burn the bottom of the pan. And you see the steam coming from the noodles, so you can see that it's blending well and cooking. Obviously, I didn't say this. The temperature for the pasta sauce with the marinara is like a medium heat. I probably repeat it over and over. I always start with probably like a medium heat just to get the pan hot, and going. If I need to like blacken something like that, then I may turn the heat up a little bit more. But for the most part, it's always on medium heat, just so we don't overcook it. And now I'm back. I put the chicken in a cuter bowl instead of trying to struggle with that skillet. That skillet is really heavy, by the way, and I love it. And I added the chicken and the vegetables that we had mixed with it to the marinara sauce and the noodles. And now I'm just mixing and stirring it around so that it can spread through evenly. At this point, we're pretty much like done as far as like cooking everything from raw. This will be a bunch of us, mixing together. I don't necessarily taste my food, not until the end. So sometimes it's like a surprise, but I usually always hit it on target. As far as seasoning goes, I don't really like too salty, so I have just enough for flavor and taste. And I'm going to add those little bit of vegetables that was left. I just think that it's good for color, but also flavor as well. I love some onions and I love some jalapeños. And we're just going to mix that thoroughly into there. So I realized that I still need a little bit more marinara sauce. So I went ahead and added just a little bit more, making me use about 3/4 jar of the pasta marinara sauce. And I mixed it up and mixed it through. I was whipping in the kitchen. Now I'm going to add some spinach to it just to top everything off. I did about 2 handfuls of the spinach, and this is raw spinach. Add more greens to our diet, so it made it nice and pretty as well. And you have some left for your omelet, as I said earlier. And you're just going to mix it in there into the pasta. We all know that spinach will dwindle down to the smallest amount, so it don't need a lot of mixing down. You still want to be able to see it, taste it, and eat it as well. I made sure my temperature was at medium heat because in my mind I was thinking that I don't want it to go too much away. If you made it this far, drop down in the comments with either spaghetti emoji, a comment of telling me how good it looks. Look at that pasta. We're basically done. I'm just going to let it sit to the side and rest. Turn off the oven. We're good there. Here's a nice little preview. I added some sprinkle of shredded cheese on top. That's just because I love cheese. But that's optional. And you can also use vegan cheese as well. Thank you for watching this video. It is my first time, so please send all the tips. Continue to follow me on IG. Also, don't forget to like, share this with your friends, and nevertheless, subscribe. Just so that I can continue to bring you more content. I'm sure the more that I do it, the more that I'll get comfortable with it. Thank you.